get it. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Zach SchuZ Shoemaker. Obviously, I know the breaking news just came out that the Keyshawn Davis fight is going to be canceled. I'll be breaking that down after I get over this interview. But to kick off today's show, I have a very special guest joining me today. He's a man that holds a 3-0 record with 2 KOs. He's one of the most highly anticipated prospects in all boxing right now. He goes by the nickname Zaybop. That's Zaquin Moses. Zay, appreciate taking time to come on today, man.
What's up, man? What's up?
Not much, man. Well, first things first, I want to ask you about. You go by the nickname Zaybop. Obviously, I'm sure I know where the Zay comes from, but I want to know about the Bop part. Where'd that come from? How'd you get that nickname?
The bop came from my grandfather. When I was younger, he always called me Bop Bop. When I was in the gym, I'd be throwing combinations. He'd just be like Bop Bop Bop. So I just
Okay.
ran with the Bop, and my name's Zay, so I put the Zay in front of it, and it makes Zay Bop.
I love that, man. Well, let's get into your upcoming fight. You're just about almost literally a week away now. June 14th, you'll be stepping back in the ring for your 4th career fight against Carl Rogers, who's 3-2. As you
Yeah.
are now a week out, what's going through your mind as you get ready for the fight?
For real, it's fight time.
Right.
Fight time. I'm watching a lot of boxing. Keeping my head straight, staying locked in. And, and and I'm just ready. You're just ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to shine, and I can't wait.
You know, each fighter I talk to seems to have a different approach when it comes to fight week. And obviously, like I said, you're still just a little bit over a week out. But as you
Um,
start approaching a fight, is there a shift in your mindset? Like, obviously, let's say 7 days out as opposed to 2 or 3 weeks out. Is there a certain shift that goes through your mind?
for sure. I mean, when it's getting close to the fight, I mean, it's time to kill. It's time to kill. It's time to go to war. It's like a switch, especially in like the dressing room. It's like you
Mm.
walk into the arena, it's a switch, and I just can't wait. I can't wait for that feeling again.
So you'd say for you, yours is more so right when you get in that dressing room and you're about maybe a couple hours out from the fights when it really flips?
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Well, let's break down Carl Rogers. He's 3-2. Obviously, I'm not sure if you have much film on him or whatnot, but what's your thoughts on him as a fighter?
I watched like one fight. I ain't
Okay.
really watched too much, but I watched one fight, and he be like bossing and moving a little bit. He's short, awkward. He be moving, and that's all I know. That's all I seen. And next week, I'm just ready to go in there and shine. Sure.
You know, I talked about in the very beginning of the intro that you are one of the most highly anticipated prospects. Anyone that obviously is not familiar with you yet needs to start watching you. And so when you talk about this, more and more people will start having their eyes on you. You're going to be on the Hitchens Kambosos fight card. For people that have not yet seen Zaquin Moses, how would you describe yourself? How would you break down what you bring to the ring?
Um, but I bring to the ring. I'm a great boxer. I
Right.
mean, I like to box. I can box real good. I mean, I can hit when I get hit. I can fight at the same time. When it's time to fight, I can fight. Like I'm a great fighter. I mean, I like to break people down. I like to beat people up.
Yeah.
I like to have fun, and I'm just me, man. For real.
If you were to make a prediction for how the fight goes down June 14th, what would your prediction be?
You ask me, I'm trying to not. I don't know, you feel me, but uh, I don't know. I'm gonna just beat him up. I'm gonna just beat him up. I'm gonna have fun. Shine. And I'm gonna beat him up, and if the stoppage come, it come.
After the June 14th is over, the night's completed, and people that seen you get to watch your fight, what's the statement that you want to send? What do you want people to be taking away from Zaquin Moses at the conclusion of June 14th?
That I'm here. I feel like I don't get mentioned enough. I mean, I am only 3 fights in, but
Right.
I feel like I don't get mentioned enough when it comes to prospects. I feel like sooner or later, the people going to finally see that I am one of them ones. I am one of them top prospects, and it's just a matter of time to the people see.
I want to ask you a little bit more on that because, as I said, when I watch you fight, like you said, obviously it's only 3 fights so far. So obviously, maybe not people can have that little bit of excuse there. But when you talk about yourself, how bright is your future? What's the ceiling for yourself when you talk about what you can accomplish throughout your long career?
I mean, I feel like the future bright. The future bright for me. As long as I stay focused, as long as I keep winning, keep beating people up.
Right.
I got a great team behind me, and the future is bright for me, and I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
You also talk about the fact that you feel like you don't get enough respect, and I do agree with that statement you made there. Do you feel like that, in a way, puts a certain chip on your shoulder in a way that you want to go out there and prove people wrong?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I feel like people just like they be trying to know me as Shaquille cousin,
Right.
but I can fight for real. Like that's one thing I can do. I can fight. And like I said, it's just a matter of time till people see it. I got my own name. I am Zaquin Moses. I can fight. And shoot, I just can't wait. I'm gonna have to show them. That's all it is. I'm gonna have to show them. And they just gotta see.
If you were to outline the next 12 to 18 months for yourself, obviously, if Carl Rogers' fight goes according to plan, you obviously move to 4-0 at that point in time. But when you look at the next year, year and a half, let's say even going into 2027, where do you see yourself at that point in time? What's the accomplishments? How many fights? Those type of things. Where do you see yourself at that point in time?
Uh, that's hard. No, it's not hard. It's not hard. I'm gonna have over 10, 15 fights for sure.
Okay.
You said 2027?
Yeah. So basically, in the way next year and a half, let's say.
Yeah, 2027. I'm gonna be a contender. I'm gonna be a contender. Making my way to a belt, and I'm speaking to existence. I can't wait. I can't wait for real. I can't wait.
I love talking to prospects because when you talk about it, obviously it's a little bit different from when you're a prospect to when you're official contender. You fight a lot less and whatnot. You're just kind of building yourself up, getting custom. So when you look at, like you said, the next 18 months for yourself, is your main goal to get yourself acclimated to the professional ranks and really make yourself get as many fights? I mean, you said you could possibly 10, 15, whatever fights. Is that really your biggest goal over the next year, year and a half?
Yeah, 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 for sure. For
Okay.
sure. They get the experience to get more comfortable
Hmm.
fighting with the smaller gloves, no headgear,
Right.
and just getting the experience for real. And when it's time to step up, step it up. We gonna step it up.
We're going to get into your amateur career in a minute here, but when you talk about the transition for yourself, would you say that was easy? Do you feel like your overall fighting style get transitioned quite easy for yourself? Was it a little bit of an adjustment, or how did that transition go from amateur to pro for yourself?
Uh, it wasn't that hard because like I've been around it. I've been a lot around a lot of great fighters
Right.
like Shakur, like Ted Crawford, like Raymond Ford,
Hmm.
like Keyshawn. I've been around all these great fighters and just watching them and seeing how they train, being in the dressing room, just watching. I feel like it prepared me for the lights. It prepared me for fighting, turning pro. It just prepared me for the moment. Like you watch my pro debut, it's like I ain't really look too nervous. Like
Agree. Yeah.
it was just like you feel me. It felt like I've been there before, and I feel like I adjusted real well.
I also feel like you're a quick learner, and there's two parts what you just talked about there. But one of them is from your pro debut already to just your most recent fight you had. I feel like there was a little bit more, just a better version of yourself. Like you quickly are developing pretty rapidly. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, my pro debut, for real, like I just said, I ain't look nervous,
Yeah.
but I was nervous.
All right.
Yeah, I was nervous for sure. I was nervous the whole week, the
Okay.
press conference, the weigh-in. I was nervous, but my last fight, I wasn't nervous at all. I wasn't nervous like talking in the
Mhm.
press conference. I wasn't nervous. I felt real good for real. For real.
And you talk about being able to be in such a great corner. Obviously, as you talked about, everyone knows you as Shakur Stevenson's cousin. Obviously, you have a great person to learn from there. You have this corner, Bud Crawford, somebody you can learn from. You have obviously Raymond Ford as well, and you can tell that you've taken bits and pieces from each and every single one of those guys and implemented it into your game. So, how have you just been able to soak in all this information, being able to be in this great position? How have you just kind of soaked in that information and data from each of these guys you've been around?
For real, like being around all them, like all the great fighters you just named, it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing because a lot of young fighters like myself, they don't really get the opportunity that I got that I had, and I'm
Right.
just blessed and me watching them, me learning, it just coming like it's coming like a snap. It's coming fast, but it's coming
Yeah.
like I don't really know how to explain it, bro. I'm real blessed.
Talking about Shakur real quickly, when you look at everything he's taught you throughout your career to this point in time, what would you say has been the biggest lesson he's taught you?
He told me a lot for real, bro. He told me a lot, in the ring and outside the ring. But him just telling me to be myself. You
Mm,
feel me? It's gonna be like don't be on social media a lot because people gonna have something to say either good or bad. And if they is talking good or bad, it's good that they mentioning your name, man. He just keep me straight, keep me humble, and I appreciate him that for sure.
It's interesting that you brought something that's kind of in a way outside of the ring. I feel like when you look at Shakur, and you even made a tweet about this a little bit ago, he's one of the most humble, down to earth guys. He helps guys get up and kind of lift them up in so many different aspects. When you talk about Shakur outside the ring, because obviously people will judge him whatever it is. In my opinion, he's the number one guy at 135. But when you talk about just overall everybody outside of the ring, we don't know Shakur like that. So what is he like just as a person outside of the ring?
He a real family man. He a real family
Mm.
man. He love his family, family first. I mean, people probably don't think he's stuck up because I be on social media, but we laughing all day, we playing all day. We get on the game. We'll go play pickleball. We just
All
having
right.
fun as a family. And he got a big heart. Anything you need, anything you want to talk about, he the person for sure. He the person.
For yourself, was boxing always the dream for yourself from the time you were young? Was that the only sport you went after, or when did you fall in love with boxing?
Nah, I actually played football. I actually loved football at first. It
Okay.
was like I was a young kid playing football and having fun, being a kid. And, I think I was 14. I was boxing. I was boxing since I was like 3. I
Okay.
boxed since I was 3. I took 3 years off. I was
Gotcha.
not. I took 3 years off. I came back and it was like I started watching. I started watching Shakur. I ain't just started watching Shakur. We grew up together. But I
Right.
started watching like what he was accomplishing. And I started like paying more attention to it. Like he went to the Olympics. I saw him win the Olympics. And
Mm.
then it was just like he came home. It was like he with the family, all the love he was getting in the parade. It was like nothing we never seen before. And then I started getting in the gym. It was just me and my grandfather. I started getting in the gym. I started getting back in the gym. Start working. And then I was 15. I was 14. I was still 14. At the end of the year, Shakur, he told me to move with him. And like, and one day he was in the garage. He was getting powder, and he was like, I see something in you.
Mm.
And this, that, and the third, like I see something in you. And then after that, the rest was history for real. For real. I stayed locked in. I started watching his every move, how he trained, everything, and he be nothing to motivate me.
So when did you give up football then? Were you still doing football up until that point, or when did you kind of go all in on
Nah,
boxing?
nah, I stopped. I stopped playing
Okay.
football when I was. I stopped playing football when I was. I think I was 12 or 13. I
Gotcha.
was 12 or 13. I stopped playing football, and I just ain't like. Once I start getting back into boxing, I just ain't like it no more. It was like I
Hmm.
didn't want to play it no more. Like it was, feel me?
Gotcha.
There was no love to it. Like I ain't want to do nothing that I ain't love. And
Hmm.
and then I started loving boxing again. And it was like, I'm gonna stick with it. That's what I'm gonna do.
You go into the amateur career, and you are a three-time national champion. You have an incredible run as an amateur. When did you feel like you started getting comfortable and saying, you know what, I know I'm one of those top guys out there?
Um, I think it was my last year being an amateur.
Hmm.
I think it was my last year being an amateur. I won 2 tournaments. I won no, actually that was, but at the end of the year, I think it was 2023, 2024.
Okay.
One of them, but I won the last chance and I qualified for the Olympic trials. And
Hmm.
that's when I was like, and I had to fight 5 days straight. Like I ain't getting no break. I had to fight 5 days. And I
Okay.
was like, yeah, I'm one of the ones for sure.
There is a matchup that you had that I really want to dive into a little bit, and that was when you fought Carmel Moten in 2023. Obviously, you guys are both kind of the two of the top guys that are in their early 20s right now. Walk us to that fight over there because I feel like that was almost a career-defining move. When you talk about that, obviously it's gonna be on your record. Everyone knows about that from the amateur ranks. How big was that fight for yourself?
It was big because we still amateur and like the build up was like crazy. It was crazy, but a lot of people ain't know I actually like been in the ring before we come out. Like we sparred a couple times before we even fought.
Okay.
So it was real big. It was a real bit up for us being amateurs, and it was a crazy experience for real. Cause I ain't never like fight nobody like that or anything,
Yeah.
and it just happened. It was happening. It was happening fast. Like it was going quick, and I had to adapt quick. So it was
Mhm.
like it was fun. for sure.
Do you feel like that moment for yourself was in a way that confirmation to like kind of was like, okay, I really am that guy. I can compete with the best of them, and I know that I've got a bright future in the sport.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Those is one of the moments because Carmelo is one of the was one of the top dudes back then in the
Right.
amateurs. I mean, he still is a top dude right now. He doing his thing in the pros, but um, yeah, that was one of the moments for sure. Um,
Well, I have to ask you. Obviously, we look at you two. Both of you guys are top-ranked young prospects. Is this a matchup you guys would ever like to do at the professional ranks?
yeah, later down the line, yeah, yeah, we gonna get it in. We gonna
All
get
right.
it in. Not just us, but a lot of people. We gonna get it in for sure. I won't fight. I won't fight anybody. We gonna get it in.
I know some people are saying that would be a fun fight to make at you guys' younger ages. Is that something like you said you're not going to want to fight up until you guys are both probably ranked, possibly for world championship type of situation? Like it won't be for a few years out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's well now we in the business now. Now
Yeah.
we into more like you feel me. So
Hmm.
so later down the line, I feel like it's gonna be more of a story, and it's gonna be we gonna make a lot of money together. So later down the line in the future, we gonna get it in. We gotta get it in. I mean, I know he won't fight me, so we gotta get it in for sure.
If that fight were to go down, I know we're talking the future here. How do you see the pro fight going down between you two?
Um, me winning,
All right.
me winning.
I want to go into your pro jump then. We already talked about that, but you obviously go out there and eventually sign with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. That has been a huge thing for yourself, obviously helping you already get to a massive promotion at such a young age. What led to Matchroom? Why is that the route you wanted to go?
Um, I made my pro debut on his car, and like uh, they was promoting me good. I wasn't even signed to them yet, and it was like they was promoting me real good. Like I was signed to them, and it was like I don't know. It was like a instant connection. Like after my fight, Eddie jumped in one of my interviews. It was just like instant. Like I felt like that was a great place for me,
Hmm.
and I'm happy I got the opportunity to sign with them, and I'm gonna keep showing them. I'm gonna show them why they made a great decision to sign me.
When you have discussions with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, what's their plans for you? Have they talked about their plan, their routes for you, what they want, what should they expect for you, or what's their plans in store for you?
Nah, we ain't really talked too much about that,
Okay.
but what I can say is I am under a great deal. I am taken care of. They taking care of me, and I just gotta keep fighting, keep showing out, and the opportunity's gonna come with me shining for sure.
There's a few more things I want to get into before I let you go, Zay. And one of those things is that you are from New Jersey. When you talk
Yeah.
about representing Newark, New Jersey, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it mean a lot. It mean a lot. I mean, a lot of people from North New Jersey, they never seen outside of North New Jersey, or
Mm,
it's a real struggle down there. Like they don't got no choice to be in the streets or do that, do this, do you feel me? So
hmm.
I'm representing all the ones that they don't got no choice. I'm representing all the ones that don't know what it look like, don't know what it look like outside of North New Jersey. I'm representing them. I'm representing the kids, and I'm representing. I hope I'm representing strong, but I'm representing for sure.
When you look at the future, I mean, obviously we have yourself, we have Shakur Stevenson, we have others now coming out of just this own little city within a great state of New Jersey. How much is there any pressure, I guess I should say, that comes with that, knowing that you have so many eyes looking up to you?
I mean, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I
Hmm.
mean, especially me being Shakur's little cousin, and I'm the oldest of 13 too, so I got a lot of siblings. They all
Hmm.
both of my little brothers here right now. They be wild and like any like I get touched a certain type of way, anything they got something to say. So it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And I feel like these moments, the pressure, all this, I'm built for this.
Hmm.
I'm built for this, and I'm gonna keep shining, man. That's what I love to do. I love to have fun. I love to shine. I love to fight, and I can't wait till the world see it.
We also got into one of the other guys that you spar a lot with. That's Ray Ford. I want to get into him because he's also one of the top American fighters in all the country right now. Learning from a guy of that caliber, what has that been like for yourself?
It's been a blessing. It's been a
Mhm.
blessing. I mean, Ray first for a title fight. I was his main sparring partner. I
Mm.
helped him for that fight. We got a lot of great rounds in that fight, and I feel like Ray is one of those dudes that people don't really know how good he is neither. Like I feel like they saw that Nick Ball fight. It was a lot going on. I don't want to say, but it's a lot going on with him. In terms of making weight, and he Ray one of the ones for sure. I can't wait until the world actually see him actually get an opportunity to show that because he is one of the ones, and I appreciate him for sure.
Getting rounds in at your that young of an age to be able to learn from a guy like that, how much better did that make you as a fighter?
That made me a lot
Mhm.
better because I spar Ray. I do a whole camp with Ray, and
Mhm.
I get in there with like another pro or something, and it'd be like I can tell like it's different. Like
Yeah, there's levels to it.
other fighters know like you go spar somebody, and then you'll get in there with somebody else, and it's like they can't do nothing with you. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, so yeah,
So I know I asked a question about Shakur earlier, but now for Ray, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from him now in your career?
Ray, Ray, I don't really know. Ray just been a big brother to me. Like
All right.
he been a big brother. Like he took me under his wing. Like because I wasn't sound mastering him. He took me under his wing. I was following him everywhere. I was seeing what he was eating. I was watching him, and he was just showing me the way for real. Showing me what to do and what not to do, and he was showing me, and I appreciate him.
I love that, Zay. Well, Zay, I got one final question for you. It's a question like wrapping up each and every single interview with, and that's talking about your legacy. Obviously, we know you're young. You still have a great young future and bright future ahead of yourself. But when that career does come to a conclusion down the road, what is that you want to leave behind as a legacy? What do you want to be remembered for what you've accomplished both inside and outside of that ring?
Uh, I want to be known I want to be known as the best.
Mm,
I want to be known as the best. I want to be known as the dude that fought everybody and won. I want to be known as a dude that while fighting everybody, collecting a lot of belts. I just want to be the best. I want to be the best, and when they talk about boxing, my name gotta be brung up. Like
mm.
there's no way going around that. They gotta be brought up, and I want to be great for sure.
I love that. Well, Zay, I appreciate you taking time to come on in, man. I can't wait to see what God's got in store for you, and best of luck on June 14th.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
You too.
I appreciate everybody for tuning into that interview. I'm going to have that clipped up, edited out, and then posted on my YouTube channel. Right after the show's done, I'm going to go on a quick break, and I'm going to get into all the news that just came out very shortly. See you guys in a few minutes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SchuZ Show. I'm your host, SchuZ Shoemaker. So, I apologize for the extremely long break we just had in between the interview and this portion of the show. Obviously, as I said right before I went live, breaking news came out. Keyshawn Davis's fight, his big blockbuster fight tomorrow night against Edwin De Los Santos, has been canceled. Now, due to the fact that that happened right as I was about ready to go live, I wasn't able to get all the information together. And for those that know me, know that I like to give the exact facts. I don't like to just ramble and make conspiracy theories. Therefore, I got the facts presented now, gathered all the information that we have set for what happened today, and it's time to get into that. I'll be giving my thoughts after I give you guys the information and details on what happened. As of this morning, we were set to have an incredible fight night tomorrow night. Those plans have now been scratched, and I'll be discussing that in an overview very shortly, but we're going to be addressing specifically Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos' fight now being called off. Let's get right to it. This morning, news came out that the scheduled bout between Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos was in doubt after Keyshawn Davis came in 4.3 pounds overweight at 139.3 pounds. This led to him immediately being stripped of his WBO lightweight world title according to the rules, which is in the rule book, and this was in front of his very first title defense against Edwin De Los Santos. At that point in time, the rule stated this, that only De Los Santos was eligible to win the WBO world title after he was able to make weight at 134.7 pounds. This all came to fruition, and we knew this was in doubt, but they ended up going to the negotiation table. When they were in the negotiating room, there were different things that they were trying to negotiate. According to reports, this is what was on the table. Santos' camp was locked in on negotiations over a financial penalty for Keyshawn being 4.3 pounds overweight. They won the DLS camp, and they were insisting for an AM weight check of no more than 10 pounds gained and money if he is over 10 pounds. The fight was still in jeopardy. This was as of a couple hours ago. Then the news comes out that things changed course. The scheduled fight between Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos was officially off, and Davis was stripped of his WBO lightweight title. Then we got some more details coming in regards to what happened in this negotiation room. And here's what those details were. According to the ring's Keith Idec and Mike Coppinger, the two sides initially agreed to move forward with the fight under the second day weigh-in limit of 149.5 pounds for Keyshawn Davis. Edwin De Los Santos and his team then changed course and decided not to go through with the fight due to safety concerns. The sides were also negotiating a financial penalty for Davis to forfeit a six-figure sum to De Los Santos. Then we got news from De Los Santos' promoter, Samson, details that this is what led to the cancellation. We renegotiated 10 pounds, more money, but we concluded that Davis never tried to make weight. He was dancing on the scale. I didn't want what happened to Devin Haney and Garcia to happen. We canceled the fight. Now, the good news is that Edwin De Los Santos will be paid his entire purse for this fight. All right. There's a lot to get into. That is the details. The good news is that Edwin De Los Santos will be paid his entire fight purse. I'm going to break this down from a few different standpoints. First and foremost, Keyshawn Davis, his quote on why he missed weight. I've outgrown the weight. I was up late last night trying to cut weight. I was feeling it last fight. But I was feeling it last fight when I fought Birchinek. All right. There's a lot I want to pack out and kind of break down right now about Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is still a rising star in boxing. He was one of America's future biggest stars, in my opinion. Today put a massive dent in that stardom of Keyshawn Davis. This was his event. You were the main event. You brought this card back home to Norfolk, Virginia. This was 100% your card. Your brothers are on the card. You're headlining the card at your home. And you now come out and say that you're already feeling the weight last time, and you clearly knew for a fact that there was a 0% chance in which you were going to be able to make weight today because you are 4 pounds overweight, 149.5 pounds. That in and of itself is a disgrace. You wasted Edwin De Los Santos' time getting ready to come for this fight. You wasted everybody that made travel arrangements, scheduling all these different things because you didn't even try to make weight. That's what gets me. This was not a Chris Eubank Jr. situation where he's out there struggling for his life to try making weight. Keyshawn Davis just showed up and said, you know what, it is what it is. I'm not even going to try anymore. And if you knew you were not going to make weight, then get up on out of 135 and you should have booked a fight at 140. That is what should have been done, not the disaster that unfolded today. But here's what really gets me upset. For Keyshawn Davis, you are a rising star. You have a certain standard to live by as a world champion and a future ambassador for boxing, especially in the United States of America. Your job, being the hometown hero, fighting in your hometown, was to make weight today. If you were going to lay it all out there and try to make weight to the best of your ability and something screwed up for yourself and you were not able to do so, then here's what you should have done. You should not have gone up on that scale, dancing, laughing, and having fun as you just read the results that you weighed in at 149.5 pounds. That right there is a disgrace and an embarrassment, might I even add. You should have been ashamed of yourself for putting yourself in this position and impacting all the different people that came out to try supporting you. There is multiple things that Keyshawn Davis needs to learn from this situation moving forward. For starters, move up onto 140 and stop messing around with weight. But on the larger scale picture is a maturity issue. If you are not able to go up there with sincerity, knowing that you tried your best to make weight, but rather than that, going up there dancing, laughing, and screwing around, that is a maturity issue that needs to be addressed because that is not a world champion standard. That is not a future ambassador of boxing standard. The greats would not be showing up like that. And we can look back in time and look at Ryan Garcia and the Devin Haney situation. Yeah, that entire situation was a disaster looking back at it. But here's the difference. Ryan Garcia was never given, while he had the spotlight, yes, he had the big name brand spotlight, but his spotlight is much more akin to a Jake Paul situation, while he's obviously much more talented, but more so that social media era, than a legitimate boxing superstar that was grown up in the sport of boxing with a great talent. Ryan Garcia was clearly wrong up here, and we knew he was out of control and he's more the celebrity type of guy anyways. Keyshawn Davis, your brand image as the businessman was because you had a chance, and probably still do, but you coming into a situation, you had a chance to be one of the next biggest stars in all of boxing. Handling the business that you did today, that's not no businessman standard. A businessman gets the job done no matter what. That was businessman-like of you to do so. And it is an embarrassment, not only for yourself, but for the card, for ESPN, for Top Rank, for everybody that came out and supported you, and now overall for the sport of boxing. Because you wasted a lot of people's time doing that today. And my hope is that he does learn moving forward. Because there is no tolerance for what happened today. An absolutely embarrassment. Now, let me flip sides to the other side here. Edwin De Los Santos could have went forth with this fight and potentially become world champion had he beaten Keyshawn Davis. His decision for his team, as we read, was to no longer go forth with it. They had a plan in place. That plan ended up not coming to fruition due to the fact that they deemed what I just talked about, that Keyshawn Davis never wanted to make weight, that he was screwing around all along. And there is a problem in boxing. I do not know why in today's era of boxing that we've all of a sudden made missing weight normal. That should not be normal. You guys should take care of business. And if this weight problem is becoming too much of an issue, then stricter guidelines need to be put into place. Because this is embarrassing. But for Edwin De Los Santos, listen, I'll be honest. He made weight. He did his job. But he did not look good at all. And I even made a tweet about this after the fact when Edwin De Los Santos was doing interviews post weigh-in. His eyes did not look good. It was a tough weight cut for him. And we have to remember, he's been out of the ring for over 18 months. He had massive blood clot issues that were life-threatening for himself. And so putting him in a health situation that was not a healthy situation to go into, with Keyshawn Davis being massively overweight, never made any sense. So whenever the deal, and I do not know why the deal was given, it is wild to me to think that ESPN and or Top Rank came together and said, you know what, we'll pay the opposing fighter his full purse and not even do the fight. That's shocking to me. Therefore, for Edwin De Los Santos, I'm not going to blame him whatsoever. He did his job. He was ready to fight, and he's going to get his full purse regardless of what happens and not having to step in that ring and take damage. Massive props to him. I hope we do get to see him back in the ring in the near future because he's still a young guy. People have to remember, he's still only 25 years old. Like, he's a very young fighter. He's got a bright future if he can stay healthy. So I give all props to Edwin De Los Santos. Well done. Way to step up to the plate and take care of business today. It sucks that this had to happen. Unfortunately, this is a situation that we had, and Edwin De Los Santos, I cannot fault him for that. But as I said, Keyshawn Davis must learn. I don't think his situation nor is the story over with. He can move up to 140. And odds are, in my opinion, Teofimo Lopez might have just struck gold here. Because he can now fight Keyshawn Davis at 140. Both guys have something to redeem themselves. This seems to be like the perfect fight to make at 140. We'll see what ends up unfolding here, but I'm just saying this. Keyshawn Davis is ready to move up to 140. and he could get a big fight regardless. So he's going to have an opportunity to redeem himself quite quickly. But the biggest thing is this. Keyshawn Davis needs to make sure he takes himself seriously moving forward. What happened today is unacceptable. As for other situations now, the main event for tomorrow night's top-ranked card will now be Abdullah Mason, and he'll be fighting for that his very first main event. At the same time, we must now look at the situation. The WBO belt is now vacant. That could lead to a massive fight between Abdullah Mason, if he wins tomorrow night, and Sam Noakes. That seems to be the fight to make. Now, both guys have to qualify under WBO standards, but that would be the perfect fight to make in this situation. The crazy thing is that I just got done previewing yesterday a situation of what 135 could now look like moving forward. Keyshawn Davis has other plans. He screwed up that entire list. But here's now the new outline. Obviously, Vasily Lomachenko retired. His belt was now moved over to Raymond Martaya, who was promoted as after he was the interim. You now have the WBO vacant. IBF is Raymond Martaya. Tank Davis is WBA. WBC is Shakur Stevenson. And the interim is for the WBC is William Zepeda, who will be fighting Shakur Stevenson on July 12th. 135 has gone through massive ramifications and changes over the past 48 hours now. It's a whole new division. Still is a popping division. I think Abdullah Mason, Raymond Martaya, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson would still be a mighty fine, fun main champions for that group right there, but we'll see what ends up unfolding. The point is this, though. If you are Keyshawn Davis, hopefully he learns from this. His career is not over, but he must learn from this, sincerely apologize, and grow from a maturity standpoint and a professionalism standpoint. You are the businessman, so handle your business appropriately as a typical businessman would so do. I want to get into one other news that came out just a little bit ago before I now give you guys a fight recap from what happened today and a fight preview. Ray Vargas is expected to make his return to the ring in August against Carlos Castro. Vargas is the WBC featherweight champion in recess. He has been out since injuring his shoulder against Nick Ball last year. That's other breaking news that did come out that I just wanted to get into and discuss. All right. I'm going to go discuss a fight breakdown of recap of what happened a little bit earlier. Earlier in the day, Josh Kelly fought a fight against Flavius Baye. And let me just say this. There was a card. There was already some changes to that card as well. There were a couple guys that had to pull out before the fight started. The card was fine whatsoever. It is what it is. I'm just going to address the main event. Josh Kelly landed a brutal left hook to KO Flavius in the first round. And then he went and called out for Conor Benn after the fight. Oh boy. Let me say this real quickly. First and foremost, why was Josh Kelly even in this fight? When you look at Josh Kelly, he's a very talented fighter. He's been working his way up the rankings. Why is he backtracking once again to go fight a guy that nobody's ever heard about before? This fight made no sense to begin with. I was skeptical of it when I talked about it yesterday. And then we see this come to fruition, and he goes out there and gets the first round KO. Yeah, it was a statement KO. It's cool. Good highlight reel play. But what are we doing? Why is he still doing these type of fights? Josh Kelly is a guy that had a rising stardom to himself for quite some time. And now Josh Kelly's put himself in a position where he's fighting these random cards that just don't need to be fought in. It makes no sense to me. It absolutely is baffling that he's even fighting this type of fight. And so for him to go out there then and say, you know what, I want Conor Benn, which I know his obsession is Conor Benn, but I don't get it. I know why you want Conor Benn, but you are not in position or place to possibly even contend for Conor Benn fight. Especially when you look at the history that he's fought, you want a controversial, debatable win against Ishmael Davis. And now you come out and you do your thing as Flavius Baye, who I don't even know who he really is. He doesn't have that much of a great track record. If you're Josh Kelly, you need to start working yourself up. Build yourself up and get some legitimate fights underneath your belt. What he's doing right now makes no sense, and it's just a shame because his career was at it was moving up quite quickly. He was in a great place a couple of years ago, and now he's just, I don't know what he's doing. I can't give an explanation because it makes no sense. We need bigger fights to be made. He needs to start working his way up and make the fights that people want to see. Obviously, he's ranked in the top 10 for a couple of different boards. If he wants to go out there and do those fights, make it happen. I think he should fight somebody in the top 15 of one of the different organization bodies. If that's on the table, he needs to go pursue that fight immediately. No more of these kind of messing around garbage fights. Now, my guess is going to go out there and do a domestic fight against somebody not in the top 15, but we'll see what happens. The point is he needs to do massive step-up fights and start actually pushing himself and challenging himself to put himself into position to possibly go fight a guy like Conor Benn. That's what I have to say about that fight recap. I'm going to be giving you guys a full fight recap or preview of this weekend now. After this quick break, I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'll see you guys very shortly. SchuZ is out. Welcome back to the SchuZ Show, everybody. So, as I said, it's time to get into fight previews for what's going to be happening now tomorrow night. This is a little bit of a wild situation. I'm going to pull up real quickly for you guys to see on my screen. Here was what the fight week preview was as of 4 days ago. Just going to put it up here on the screen. Hopefully you guys can see it come in all right. You look at this list right now, and this was going to be an insane weekend of boxing. Still was a really good weekend of boxing. But let's just break down this fight card because you guys see this thing on the screen right now. Well, a lot of changes have occurred now in the duration of 4 days. For starters, let's look at the card tomorrow. Fabio Wardley versus Wardley-Huni. That fight card no longer will feature Dillian Whyte on that card. He has now been removed, and we now have a situation where we're going to be having Adam Azim fighting now on the Callum Simpson undercard. We also now are in a position where we're going to be having Keyshawn Davis, and that main event has now been canceled. On top of that, Edwin De Los Santos' fight and Keyshawn Davis is gone. Then, today as well, Justin Paldo, his fight card is now removed as well, and he was the main event. One second, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. We're right back. 1 second, folks. Welcome back, everyone, to the SchuZ Show. My apologies on the little difficulties we had right there. It's something to fix up. So let's redo that segment again real quickly. As I was previewing, this weekend was set to be an incredible weekend of boxing. And in my opinion, it's still a very, very good weekend of boxing. Don't get that twisted. And overall as well, let's say fight weekend, because you have UFC 316 going down tomorrow as well, which is going to be a great card. But staying on the boxing topic, it was set to be phenomenal. And it still is great, but let me just pull up something for you guys. This was the boxing preview schedule for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as of 4 days ago. Let's put it right here on my screen. And when you look at this list now, we've had quite a few adjustments. I'm not sure if I can recall this many changes happening in this short of a time span in a very long time in boxing. So we're going to preview right now Fabio Wardley, Wardley-Huni's card. Dillian Whyte was supposed to make his return on this card, and that's now been removed. So take him off that list. Let's move over to the Keyshawn Davis, Edwin De Los Santos card. That card, headlined by Keyshawn Davis, as we just discussed, is now been removed. The main event for tomorrow's blockbuster fight is canceled. Abdullah Mason now gets moved up to the main event. Let's move over now as well to the other main event going down tomorrow night on Pro Box TV. Justin Paldo, another guy at 135 who is a top contender. He missed weight today as well. That main event is now canceled for tomorrow night because they were not able to make a deal as well. That now moves Michael Angeletti into the main event time slot. Then we go down to Callum Smith's card for tomorrow in the UK. Adam Zim has now been added up into that list for tomorrow after he was not even expected to fight as of 3 days ago. As of right now, weigh-ins will be going down momentarily between Jai Opetaia's card as well as the Big Japan card happening Sunday morning. Those guys are going to be determining if those fights still are online, and I think they obviously will be okay. But because of what's happened over the past few days, who knows what's going to happen? And the picture of what Junto Nakatani and Nishida looked like just a few hours ago, they did not look very good either. And the rumors have already been speculating that both guys will be forced to move up to 122 after this upcoming fight between each other on Sunday. So could that fight be in the balance? At this point, I've got no clue. But if we have 3 potential main events scratched within a couple of days of each other, it would be one of the craziest things in boxing history. So yes, this weekend was set to be an incredible fight card, and I had a massive breakdown set for you guys. But plans do change, and there's nothing like boxing, as I always like to say. Therefore, this fight card has now had lots of changes to it, but there's still a lot of great things. And I just want to point out a few things before I go down step by step on what is still the big fights of this weekend, okay? First of all, let's stick up with the Saturday card. I'll be previewing all the main events as well as a couple of the big co-main events momentarily, but here are some things I want you guys to keep an eye on because I don't have time to preview, about 40 different fights we got going on this weekend. So here's my way too early, not including the main events or co-main events, which I'll be breaking down in a moment in a little bit more depth. But here are some guys to keep an eye on this weekend. For starters, on the Fabio Wardley-Justice Huni card, Mike Perez is a top 15 ranked cruiserweight. Pierce O'Leary will be the co-main event. He is someone to keep an eye on as well. Sam Gilley's an interesting fight to have as well. And then you have Lewis Richardson. He is one of the top up-and-coming prospects in Great Britain. And then you also have Nelson Haya, another guy to keep an eye on at the heavyweight division. Those are all great fights that's going to be on the undercard for Fabio Wardley-Justice Huni, the massive heavyweight fight going down tomorrow. Then, on Saturday night in the USA, Abdullah Mason, Jeremiah Nakatila, that's now the new main event. That will be broken down in a moment, though. But you also have both the Davis brothers will be fighting. Troy Isley, a top 10 middleweight. He will be fighting on that card as well. Then you have 2 very intriguing prospects as well. Tiger Johnson versus Janisel Bocacharia. That could possibly be the fight of the card on that card tomorrow night. Keep your eyes on that one. Then Scooter Davis. He is one of the most exciting young prospects in all boxing. He will also be on that card as well. For ProBox TV, with the main event now scratched, there is going to be Michael Angeletti versus Eros Correra. That would now be the main event. That fight has massive stipulations because that fight will be a position for the bantamweight division, and that could possibly put the winner in position to be fighting for a world championship in the near future. That's something to keep your eyes on as well. Co-main event, Emiliano Moreno versus Eric Bone. He's also a top prospect, Emiliano Moreno. Going back over to the UK, you have Sam Hickey's a solid fighter. Mark Jeffers is an intriguing young prospect as well. Rise Edwards, and of course, Adam Azim. I've already given my thoughts on this. He's going to absolutely annihilate Elliot Chavez tomorrow. It is an embarrassing situation that's even placed on the card. That's already been discussed on Wednesday's episode. He will be on the card. Obviously, we're talking about another guy that's a future, could be fighting for a world championship by the end of the year, early next year, possibly. And he's going to be on an undercard. It's a disgrace, but that is what I've already discussed that. But he's someone to keep your eye on as well. Let's go to Sunday morning, my time. You're going to be having Connor Wallace fighting Tyler Blizzard, and you're going to have Ben Mahoney. 3 intriguing fighters, all fighting on the undercard for Jai Opetaia, Claudio Secchio. That will be on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. my time, Mountain Standard Time. Then Japan, 2 a.m. on Sunday. There's going to be a couple of big fights. I'll be previewing both of those, though, momentarily. So all those fight cards are still set. It's still going to be an action-packed weekend of boxing. And as I alluded to, there also is UFC 316 going down tomorrow night as well. So for fight fans, tomorrow is going to be a busy, busy day. Start of the day, end of the day, into the middle of the night and Sunday. Tons of action to watch. But I want to get into now previewing the main cards and the main fights that are going to be going down this weekend. Let's head over to the very first one that's going to be going down between Fabio Wardley, Justice Huni for the WBA interim heavyweight title fight. You might be asking, this fight was originally scheduled to be between Fabio Wardley and Jarrell Miller. Same thing for the WBA interim heavyweight title fight. It was then replaced with Justice Huni. And in my opinion, this is going to be a much, much better fight than the Jarrell Miller fight would have been. That's my personal opinion. Either one would have been fine, but I like this. Why is it such a big deal? When you look at the heavyweight division of boxing, Usyk controls 3 of the belts, while Dubois has 1 of them. There will be an undisputed champion in July 19th to be specific. At that point in time, if Dubois wins it, things could get interesting because he's younger. But if Usyk, as expected, ends up winning that fight, we're going to have all 4 belts held up. But he's getting older. He only has a fight or 2 left. Therefore, in the near future, probably by next year, all 4 belts could possibly open up. And that's why this fight's a big deal. Because in the back of your mind, you're almost looking at this fight as a potential world championship fight. And I say that in the same sense that we looked at the Raymond Moratajao fight from a couple weekends ago, when we knew Vasily Lomachenko was going to retire and then they'd be promoted to actual champion in the near future. That is a very similar situation that I see happening with this heavyweight fight tomorrow. To give you guys a preview, Fabio Wardley heads into this fight with an 18-0-1 record with 17 KOs, while Huni has a 12-0 record, 7 KOs. This will be for the WBA interim heavyweight title fight at a stadium fight, which will be huge. Wardley is a brutal British knockout artist. He has great power, and remember, his most recent performance, he put the dent in the head of Fraser Clark. While Huni, he's an Australian technician, he's very skilled, but here's the biggest thing. This fight is tailor-made for Fabio Wardley to have a devastating KO. And that's why I'm predicting that Wardley will have a mid-round knockout here. This fight right here could possibly put the winner in position to fight the winner of Dubois and Usyk. I hope that goes to Joseph Parker. That's a story that we'll talk about on Monday. But when you look at this fight, Justice Huni is incredible talent. He's young. I'm not sure if he's ready for this stage yet. He has not fought guys to this level yet. But here's the biggest concern about Huni. He is very skilled, more skilled than Fabio Wardley in my opinion, but his jaw is very questionable. He has taken some big hits in his career, and he's been hurt badly in fights. He still managed to come out and win those fights, but he hasn't faced a guy with the power that Fabio Wardley possesses. And if Fabio Wardley comes out swinging it in tomorrow's fight, this could be over very quickly. When you have a guy with a glass chin and you have a guy with the power that Fabio Wardley possesses, you could be in for a devastating KO in this heavyweight fight tomorrow. So that's what I'm predicting to happen tomorrow in the UK. Let's go over to now the new main event for the top-ranked card heading out in Norfolk, Virginia, between Abdullah Mason and Jeremiah Nakatila, a lightweight clash. This is not for any belts, but this puts position for Abdullah Mason, if he wins, to fight for a world championship by the end of the year. And Abdullah Mason, I've gone back and forth between Moses Toma, Abdullah Mason. Who's the best prospect of boxing? I give Toma a slight edge. But Abdullah Mason's right there. And he now has a chance. He's been put in position because of the Keyshawn Davis situation to go for becoming one of the youngest world champions in the history of boxing, regardless of weight class. That's the record that Abdullah Mason now has put himself in position for. And this will be his very first time headlining a fight. And don't you worry, he's got a lot more of these fights in store for himself. He is 18-0 with 16 KOs heading into this fight, where Jeremiah, he is 26-4, 21 KOs. Abdullah Mason, he has explosive power. Extremely skilled. He's got the full package. Let's just be honest. I don't even need to break down Abdullah Mason. Let me just tell you this. If you have not seen him yet, tomorrow's your time to watch him. This is the future of American boxing right here. He has the full package. He has a chance to be that guy of this next generation in American boxing. He's that special. And the bad news for Jeremiah is this. He's facing a guy that's hungry. He's facing a young rising star. And Jeremiah Nakatila, he could go out there and perform an upset, of course. I don't see that happening. Abdullah Mason's too locked in. He's too focused. He's too hungry. And he knows the opportunity in front of him at this point in time. Therefore, I'm predicting a mid-round knockout for Abdullah Mason tomorrow to jumpstart his career burst into becoming one of the next world champions, one of the youngest world champions in boxing history. Troy Isley, Itoni William. Isley's one of the top guys, the top 10 middleweight prospect. I've already talked about this. He'll be fighting for a potential title eliminator next. I think he's going to win by decision tomorrow. It should be a very simple, easy fight. He could be possibly promoted to the co-main event tomorrow. They have not announced who the co-main event will be underneath Abdullah Mason. I have a feeling it will be him, but we'll see what happens there. Going back over to the UK, Callum Simpson versus Ivan Zuko. He's the British standout for Callum Simpson, 17-0, 12 KOs, while Ivan Zuko is 21-0 with 18 KOs. This will be for the European super middleweight title. The winner of this will now set themselves up to go make a big jump into the world scene, fighting a top 10 fighter in the world scene rankings there. For Simpson, he is a rising star, very aggressive, great footwork, while Zuko is a knockout artist. This should be, and when I say knockout artist, I'm saying this man has one punch knockout power. He has a massive, powerful arm that can possess massive KOs. I think Simpson will get the late stoppage. I think he's much more skilled, better accuracy, and conditioning should weigh down on Zuko. And as the conditioning progresses, I think that power could lose Zuko. But I'm not going to say this is a guarantee prediction here. I think Zuko does have a chance here. With that one punch knockout power, we could see a massive knockout go down in the main event tomorrow. I guess my time will be afternoon. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm giving Simpson my prediction on that fight. Then, I've already talked about it, but since the fact that we do have one of the top rising stars in all boxing and Adam Azim fighting tomorrow, here's the preview. He's 13-0, 10 KOs. He just got scheduled to fight on Wednesday night. He was not planning to fight before that. But with that being said, Elliot Chavez, good luck. You're going to get knocked out real quickly. It's a pointless, dumb fight to make. Never should have been made to begin with. It is what it is. Adam Azim will go out there, get a massive KO, and hopefully get off this boxer deal. Then, Justin Paldo, as I said, this was going to be a great fight, a positional fight to get him moved up higher in the rankings at 135. He blew it. He missed weight. No deal could get reached. That main event is out the window. So he will not be fighting. You will have Michael Angeletti fighting, though he is still another guy with a lot of high stakes, but I did not put together my full prediction there, but I will say Angeletti should win that fight quite easily. Let's head over to Sunday morning my time. Jai Opetaia, Claudio Zaquin for the IBF's Cruiserweight World Championship. This will be going down in Australia. And remember, this weekend is a monumental weekend for Australian boxing. I said this real quickly. I'm actually going to go a little bit deeper in it momentarily. Jai Opetaia will be fighting for defending his Cruiserweight World Championship belt, as well as multiple big Australian fighters will be fighting on the undercard. And then you head over to the UK, and I already previewed it, but Justice Huni has a chance to shock the world and become the WBA world champion, interim world champion in the UK. This could be a monumental weekend for Australia, where there's a chance I come talk to you guys on Monday morning when I do my show next, and I'll say, you know what? Australia just had one of their biggest weekends in the country's history of boxing. This has a chance to be huge for the nation. Will it happen? Who knows? The future in the ground has been laid for Australian boxing to skyrocket. They are on the verge of becoming a massive destination for boxing fans and the sport as a whole. This could be the weekend that helps propel them to that level. But let's preview Jai Opetaia versus Claudio Zaquin. Jai Opetaia, in my opinion, is one of the best boxers in the world. I currently have him just outside my top 10 ranking list, only because his resume does not equal what some of the top 10 guys are. That's not his fault, though. I've said this many times before. He is deserving of a top 10 spot in the pound-for-pound list, but because of his opposition and people not wanting to give him the big fights, he's unable to do that. But he'll be fighting tomorrow in Australia. He's 27-0, 21 KOs against the IBF fighter in Claudio Zaquin, who's 17-0, 9 KOs. Opetaia is a dominant force. He's incredible. He is the best cruiserweight in the world. In fact, he's somebody that I think has a chance at even making some noise at the heavyweight division. And here's what I want to say about this fight. Zaquin, you're a Italian contender. You're stepping up for your very first world title fight. You're going to be put to bed very early. Just going to state it facts. Jai Opetaia does not mess around. He has one of the most powerful punchers. He's probably one of the most powerful punchers in all boxing right now. And you're going to be facing him on his home soil. And Jai Opetaia is not very happy right now either. Opetaia wants that unification with Zurdo. He's not getting it. And he's going to take that anger out on Claudio tomorrow. So for Claudio, congratulations on getting to this point. Enjoy your paycheck. You're going to get sent home packing, knocked out very, very quickly. It should be maybe within 2 or 3 rounds, I think Claudio will be put to bed. That's how the fight's going to go. Let's head over to Japan, though. I'll be going into the co-main event first, and then the biggest fight of the weekend main event. The co-main event, Tenshin will be fighting against Victor Santillan. Now, remember, Tenshin is a kickboxer, a former kickboxer, my apologies, who is now 6-0 with 2 KOs. He is rapidly ascending into the top ranking of the world right now at the bantamweight division. And he could be the next Japanese star here after the main event. We'll have 2 guys moving up to 122. For Tenshin, he's a former kickboxer phenom. He's regarded as one of the most naturally gifted strikers in all combat sports. He is extremely talented. While Santillan, he's a Dominican Republic fighter, hard-hitting bantamweight contender. My opinion here is that Tenshin will win by decision. His speed, his accuracy should be allowing him to dominate tomorrow. Now, he could get himself into a position where he gets into some risky engages, and if that occurs, we could see Victor Santillan have a devastating knockout on him. I don't think that's going to be the case. I truly believe that Tenshin will be the next upcoming star in Japan boxing. He is on the verge of becoming that. Tomorrow should help solidify that group. And when we talk about the main event next, there's going to be a chance that both those guys move up to 122 after this fight. That means that 3 belts would then be opened up at 2 belts would then be opened up at 118, he could go for one of those belts following that situation. All right, let's conclude this now with what the grand finale of the weekend will be. The highly anticipated mega fight in Japan. Now, when I say highly anticipated, it is certainly that. All boxing fan knows that this is the fight of the week, could very well and quite easily be the fight of the year, in my opinion. It's not to the scale of obviously Junto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue, but this fight is massive. Junto Nakatani, Ryuki Nishida, the WBC, and the IBF Bantamweight World Championship belts will be on the line in a unification. Both guys have not officially made weight at this moment in time. Both guys do not look very good, and that's why the expectation is that both these guys will be unifying, and then both will be moving up to 122 right after the fight. Nakatani is 30-0, 23 KOs, top 10 ranked fighter in the world. Nishida, 10-0, 2 KOs, one of the top contenders in bantamweight division currently, and has a chance to become one of the top boxers in the world as well. This has massive ramifications on the fight from a legacy standpoint, pound-for-pound ranking standpoint, and multiple other things. Nakatani is the Japanese superstar. We know who he is. He is a world champion at flyweight, super flyweight, and now bantamweight division. Before he moves to 122 and probably will become a world champion there. Nishida is one of the most technically skilled. He's undefeated, but he has not faced anyone near the caliber of Junto Nakatani to this point in time. Nakatani is extremely a precise puncher with great footwork. He truly is a pound-for-pound fighter in today's world. While Nishida is one of the smartest counter punchers in all boxing and a great defensive fighter, but he does lack his knockout power. That is why it is very interesting to see how this fight goes down. Styles make fights, and when you look at Junto Nakatani, he's one of the most exciting fighters. He has extreme power. Will that be able to get him into position to defeat Nishida tomorrow night? While Nishida has the reach advantage, but can he keep Nakatani from close distance? If Junto is able to utilize and get in tight and utilize his power, Nishida is going to be in for a very short fight tomorrow. If Nishida can go out there and get the job done by controlling the pace and utilizing his distance, controlling that distance will be key for him tomorrow night, or I guess Sunday morning. He will be in position to be very, very successful in that fight, where he could possibly pull off the upset of Junto Nakatani. This is a fight that I will give my prediction to Junto Nakatani by late stoppage. I think he will be able to overwhelm Nishida by the later rounds. But I am not confident in that statement. This is I don't want to call it 50-50. It maybe is a 50-55, 55-45 fight. This is neck and neck, and either way this fight could go. But regardless of what it is, I expect this to be the fight of the weekend, and I expect this fight to be possibly a fight of the year contender. This is a fight that is worth waking up early to watch. This will be supreme, excellent boxing carried out to its highest level of boxing. You're not going to miss this fight. That will be the fight of the day, the fight of the weekend, and most likely even the fight of the year potentially. That's what I've got in store for you guys today. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in today's show. As I said, the interview will be clipped up, edited out, and posted on my YouTube channel tonight. I'll also have some of these clips from this show posted out. Make sure to go tune in to my X account. I'll be keeping up with different posts from all the different fights going down over the next few days. And I will see you guys on Monday, where I'll be having a lot to get into and break down. Pound rankings will be updated. I'll be breaking down all these massive fights. I have an interview planned for Monday morning, so on and so forth. You guys will not want to miss it. I think it's going to be 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll be going live on Monday. Not 100% positive on that. I'll let you guys know the day before. But I hope you guys have a blessed rest of you guys Friday. Have an incredible weekend. May God bless you guys all. Enjoy the fights this weekend. And SchuZ is out. God bless you guys.